Okay, so entrepreneurship, where we dey push, we also get agriculture. If we able produce wetin we dey eat enough, e dey force the market for let we goods and dey go, and we dey get income. So that way you dey able for saturate the stronger currency.
So this in a way now like long-term policy suggestions.
Well, it can be medium term.
Okay.
Because waiting at the maximum period for yield for agriculture is about 3 months to 4 months. You don't get a yield. And some farm they contribute 2 times per cultivation season. The sheep, as you catch, you travel. Once you reach, they sell. It's not going to take you a year for tell you say they take fish to Europe. You understand? When you look at marine resources, we get a lot of money. You can't do agriculture, a lot of money mining. As you see so, even when we do revenue analysis, the outlook for 2021 be they project a 3.0% increment in the GDP because of if they expect say the corona go down get a steady phase and then go down ease a lot of restriction, we go down in turn contribute for more domestic revenue boom.
As it is
now the negative trend because we still get COVID, they get restriction, get coffee order. You know, most business where they go on a net, some they go cold in a net, now they go enjoy small. Before 11 o'clock, you don't lock. That bakituma where they go sell yakara cake, you know, go before go sell. You understand? So it impact on the economy.
Okay.
Now we depend everything, even toothpick, what they use now we country, with the importer. So these are the effects.
So in a way, some of them then things them way back I talk about. Is this something when I look at, because there could be another crisis where they come. Crisis they know they don't know the wall. And once another crisis come, it will catch we at the same position we say catch we, so say prices then will go up and we not get much control. What do you think about all of the ideas there?
My brother, you see, Bakal make me work now today very, very simple. And no wonder your choice for make Minister of Trade and the policy analyst then come at the studio together. Bakal don't tell you how, like you ask, how government go try for maintain a balance. Maintaining a balance in this situation, it gets so much sacrifices under the present situation. Now, we get well-meaning Sierra Leoneans as entrepreneurs, private sector investors. For example, the man where they produce flour in Sierra Leone, they sell flour at a lost cost of 25,000 per bag, % because of the love of my people. Again, if you continue for do that, the business go collapse. So like my colleague say, my colleague analyst, policy analyst says, Sierra Leoneans will for come on board with the effort of the government. Let we produce what we go able eat. Because the arable lands are there. The land is there, fertile. 6 months or 7 months rain. And in fact, one agriculturist tell me, he said, look, Mr. Toure, he said, we can miss the concept of agriculture in this country. He said the best production, not to inside rainy season, when the rains are less and the dries. Irrigation. Like Bakal say, there are crops where we go able to produce 3 times in the year. 3 times. Even rice. What to make China with all them population then they able survive within 10 and day. We also need for diversify with mode of feeding. Me and you, if not to health problem, the day where Sierra Leone no eat rice, he no eat it. But
so,
there are a lot of
say that pressure of demand now they raise prices of rice.
It can also be.
Okay.
It can be that an internal factor. But the triggering factors now some of them things and they will have been done, they tell you the freight, the shortage of even the production. Whether one then they will not get control over. But let we imagine the impact of COVID na India, na China, in terms of loss of lives, we not go compare them to Sierra Leone. That means in the midst of COVID, if we are producing agricultural produce, what would they survive on, live on? we not for done they actually experience this kind of hiking in essential commodities. Believe me. And so maintaining balance in that situation is private sector coming on board, working with government. Private sector, how many hectares of rice, cassava? Mind you, we are exporting gari, though not recorded because the local export to the neighboring countries is goes unchecked, then thing, and they will not go able to give an absolute figure as to say this na the volume of cassava, this na the volume of gari they go na Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Ivory Coast. Then cherish with gari. So cassava alone go able to do something for we, because Sierra Leoneans too are now cherishing that one. We eat that one.
So is there going to be a campaign for in the future for diversify with consumption pattern?
Yes, I can say that one publicly to anybody. So believe me, sometimes when na money, na make bread done also like it's becoming a second staple food in Sierra Leone. Because for some people, many of us now, na money, you get you one loaf of bread, hot water, you go for 2-3 hours. Isn't it? Yes. So if we diversify with consumption pattern, from this na money, I can take a loaf of bread, maybe the lunch, maybe you take small whatever, and then towards the evening, because in the African context, we people they always now between 3, 4, 5, then they cook. So around that time, then can now cook the rice. You don't survive for that day. In that situation, if you get for cook 10 cups of rice, because you not eat small gari, you don't eat small cassava during the day. In the evening, you not go cook 10 cup rice again, or else the rest go spoil. Go rest go boku. So we need for diversify even with mode of consumption, and then we step in heavily in cultivation, production of we local essential commodities.
All right, Mr. Tawali, we also have the issue of exchange rates as well. We considerably, even before now, been affect businesses, and now we are also seeing that particular impact they hit them. But then again, we have the issue of even inflation. We don't go back to double digits. How do you think in the midst of all of this we were able to tackle this problem as well?
Well, this is a problem. Like how we begin for talk no more earlier. You get what you call the forces around the market, forces of demand, forces of supply. They are then just real in any society. And with the COVID, you can see that even though we not get 3 days lockdown, 1 week lockdown, but it also impacts in the way how businesses operate in the country. Inflation, yes, the Bank of Salome be able to put them under control due to so many, policies where them put and implemented. And of late, because we get a very weaker currency, the inflation don't rear up again, and in a very ugly way. Because not to the dream that one day, but when you look at statistics, when they release a consumer price index, you will see what contribute to that. It is scientific. The government get away where it go able for put back the inflation down. One of their ways and they are for maintain prudent fiscal policies. Understand? You not go able for talk say the government or the leons will get a rise over the dollar, for example, when we know they contribute anything to the external market. So these are some of the glaring examples where we see our citizens devoid of politics, because them forces they are win a part of them as mortal mandate. If you want to go na Dubai for go buy something, now you say to go find the dollar and you exchange them with the leons. So, what more the government able do for provide an enabling environment, perhaps, and encourage people there for use the bank rather than the black market, 10 channels a day. But again, we not able to do analysis yet for know how much the black market they affect the bank rates if you for do in monetary terms.
I mean, even on paper, when the Bank of Salon have in some time come out and say then go stop black market trading of the dollar, but there is no commitment really for follow on that.
You see, you able for stop what you able control. Like they talk about the forces of demand. If the bank they give me a low rate, then the black market they give me a high rate, even if na in room self transaction they happen. And the Bank of Salon, if they say then they monitor that, the staff they always they work so na the country they not get for do self. And how much they go spend just for ensure say them stop black market when they not get competitive rate. So the government get a huge task. One, with domestic revenue they fall in the trend. Very soon we go publish with revenue analysis for 2021 compared to 2020. And from 2016 to 2021, you go see the trend. How much we don't they go. Even though we begin to get early gains, but then it fall inside 2020. The revenue to GDP, they don't. Last in 2020, it is 13.4%. You understand? So even further, even though we expect to get a deeper drop than that, we survive because like my brother from trade, he mentioned, will not get much impact as compared to the other countries in terms of death. But there was a downward trend in the business, where then people because of restrictions, they're not able to do much business as it used to be. So it don't affect even the tax collection. The day when they say lockdown, whether they go sell. So it means that NIA not going to collect any revenue. And the revenue where NIA said for 2020, they get for reversal. Government lost 1.1 trillion. You understand? And in the overall, the revenue to GDP are 2.2%. Now we lost. So these are a huge thing. Now they talk of we're not exporting. So the
and
more,
trade imbalance.
The more you get a trade imbalance and economic flights, because most of them Indians, then Lebanese in the car, so not too hard in there. Are business people then. So when they get them on user, if you say they go in that country. You understand me? So like Ghana, the local content policy help them. Because if you say commerce you go Ghana just now, you want to go open a radio station like Epic, not you get for leader. You the day behind for enjoy the profits. Ghanaians and they take charge. That man the way take charge, they get salary. You get from the luggage from that business. This is how you empower the local people. You understand? But in this country, when you do a labor monitoring and you analyze, you go find out say most of the manufacturing industries are foreigners and they. Sierra Leone has 0.1% or 0.2%. You understand? Then they are all they make. Even though not a direct contribution, but then they contribute in some way. So until now, the government go look for measures like Bank of Salon, how they get for take care of inflation. And remember say, even though when we get inflation, so the wage bill still they go up in some quarters.
Yeah, and that's something quickly what they can't talk
and
about.
And we get a lot of what you call backlogs. So even though the wage bill they go up, but in real terms, they reflect on the workers. And then workers there, they continue to experience hardship. Because at the end of the day, like recently we are a 21-day notice. The country in telecommunication services, they say 3 months. How they go work, they get salary, how you go survive. So that impact on the mining sector. We expect say it they take a rise in 2021, especially the Tonkolili aspects. But then they all don't go to a snail pace. Because when you get a mining company, you go get more number of Sierra Leoneans who then go employ. That's a loan policy they go most buy banana. Now that community day. That policy they say go get. You go make a profit from what they sell.
Okay.
But if nobody know they for buying, how you will contribute to the local economy?
But many thanks to Ona. We only talk to Mikhail Turiwena, Director for Domestic Commerce and Industry, Ministry of Trade, and Abubakar Tawaliwena, Policy Analyst from Budget Advocacy Network.